how do you become bilingual? Well, it's a very difficult thing to define, but because it is a multidimensional phenomenon, okay? So for example, if we follow Baker, Valdez and Figueroa in 1994, we have established the parameters for this. According to age, you can be simultaneous, sequential, or late bilingual. So if your parents spoke two languages, you were a simultaneous bilingual. If you started acquiring a language later on in life, like my case, for example, when I was 8, I started studying English. Now I was a sequential because my first language was finished by then, completely acquired, and then I started with English. Or late, adults, people who start learning the language later. According to the ability you have to learn the language, you are incipient, you have a small amount of bilingualism, or the case of many immigrants, for example, receptive bilinguals. My mother understands perfect Italian. She cannot speak Italian, so because she comes from an Italian family. So then she is considered, for example, a receptive bilingual. And some other people are considered productive bilinguals. They can speak the language, the two languages. According to the balance of two languages, if you speak two languages, you are dominant in one or the other, okay? According to the area of development, if you continue studying English, for example, or if you continue developing your English, you are an ascendant bilingual. If you stop studying, if you stop reading, or if you don't pay attention to it for a long time, your language becomes recessive, okay? According to the context, well, if you live in a place where the language is spoken, the language is endogenous, so you are an endogenous bilingual. You live inside the community. If the language you speak is, like in my case, from another country, well, my bilingualism is exogenous, right? And according to the circumstances, and here we come again to talk about immigration, for example. Probably, in our case, we are elective bilinguals. Our parents wanted us to learn English to get a better job in the future, for example. So that was an election. We wanted to study. But there are so many other people in the world that become bilingual under circumstances. And these are what they are considered circumstantial bilinguals. People who had to emigrate, people who had to move countries, look for better jobs, a great amount of people. And another category that doesn't belong to Valdez and Figueroa, but to Hammers and Blanc, who are Canadian, is the status. You can have additive bilingualism depending on what languages you speak, and some other languages that are not considered so, they don't have such a wide status, they are considered subtractive.
Gobierno del Perú. El Perú primero.